Hi students, and welcome to Digital Tools, the introduction to Dreamweaver, Adobe Dreamweaver, HTML, CSS. That is a lot to cover in just a couple of tutorials. So let me begin with, you see my screensaver, and I wanted to, before we even begin Introduction to Dreamweaver, certainly you read the front matter of this assignment and read over it, and you went through and took the HTML and the CSS tutorial with w3schools.com, and you've read that material. I expect that most of it will go over your heads and around you. Some of you might be familiar with web design, but most of you probably not. That is okay. You've got to read it for the first time, listen to it, scratch your head and go, okay, but let me break this down step by step what we're going to do. And I promise you by the end of this, if you take a big baby step forward, it's going to be so much better for you in the long run as you pursue maybe web design in the future. First thing we're going to do is let's go get some content, okay? And the way we get content is we just go get it from the web. We're going to borrow it. It's just for educational purposes. I just need words and pictures that have a common theme. So off the top of my head, I selected hot air ballooning. Okay, sounds colorful, sounds good. You might do NASCAR, race car driving, whatever. It doesn't matter. You might take one of your artists that you've already done because you've already got pictures in type. But I'm going to create a folder first off. I'm going to take this folder and I'm going to create it on my desktop. You have a PC, possibly, quite possibly, and I have a Mac. It doesn't matter. However you make folders, I've got a new folder here. It's called Untitled. This is important that you do this strictly as I do it, okay? The reason being is names, spaces, characters, everything matters when you're dealing with web design. It becomes really a physical address for folders and files. This Untitled folder, I don't want a website that's going to be in a folder called Untitled, so I'm going to call it Jerry Johnson underscore. We never want spaces. We never want capital letters. Again, we never want spaces. We never want capital letters in the name of a file for the web. This is why you see files named like this. So I'm saying Jerry Johnson underscore site. This is actually going to be my what we call a root folder. Yeah, it kind of stacked funny, but that's fine. There's no spaces here. It's Jerry Johnson underscore site. Yours will be your name underscore site. Inside this folder, we're going to put content. I need two kinds of content. I need images and I need some words, okay? And we're going to create a folder temporarily, and I'm going to put it inside here because everything's not formatted right. So I'm going to open this file. This is my Jerry Johnson site folder, and inside I'm going to create, yes, a new folder. I'm going to right click and say new folder, and I'm just going to say working underscore files. No capital letters, no spaces, okay? It is okay to use a hyphen, but underscore is the most common. This file, if I was going to put this on a website, is just holding the content. It's really not where the website exists, but I want to put everything in this file inside this folder. So right now we've got that. I'm going to have another folder in here called, only one more, and it's going to be called images, okay? This is where I put the artwork, photographs, if you had videos, if you had shockwave files, anything media other than images, well, anything like that, I would put it in here. Some people call it assets, but images is very common. There is a naming system, a nomenclature for web design, so let's don't ignore it. I'm trying to introduce that to you as well. But what you see here is I've got a root folder. Look at it closely. Very simple. Inside the root folder are two folders, one called images and one called working files. Well, there we go. And let me zoom back out, and you should have that by now. And let's go get some content. I'm going to surf the web. Sounds good. That's easy enough. We do it all the time. Let me zoom all the way out so I can see my search engine. I'm going to just find, let's do Safari. You could do Firefox, Google Chrome, whatever. I went ahead and Googled hot air ballooning, okay? And I got a site here called hotairballooning.com. It's got at least 400 words or more on it. It's got some other pictures if I want to use. But I'm going to just grab this text because here again, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to get more text than I think I need, and I'm going to copy it. Control C, Command C on a Mac. Okay, I've copied it. It's on my clipboard. I'm going to use Microsoft Word if you remember this. I'm going to go ahead and open Word, and I want to put my text in a Word document. But watch this, it's very careful. Watch this very carefully. Close that out. New blank document, and I'm going to paste it, but I'm not just going to go Control V, paste, Command V, paste. I want to go up here and say Edit, Paste, Special. This is really important, okay? And if you'll notice, the window, I'm not sure on a PC how that looks, but you should get something in Word that looks like this. I'm going to paste it, but I don't want formatted text, or this means rich text format. This means if it's got blue type, which here, look, it's got headers that are blue, headers that are bigger, it's got spacing, it's got a certain select, it's got a whole bunch of code embedded into it. I don't really want that, so, oops, let me lose my, I don't want that. I want to just get generic text. So I'm going to go unformatted. Do you see this here? So paste, unformatted. By the way, that was up under Edit, Paste Special. Let me do that again for you. Edit, Paste Special, unformatted. Say OK. And all my text is spilled in here. Yeah, it doesn't look beautiful, does it? I mean, it's not separated by anything other than, you know, I'm going to come in here later and I can separate, you know, where those paragraph breaks were, but I need it to be generic. I need it to not have any embedded code in it. Okay, and later we can clean this up. I don't care, you can edit out if you got too much text. We're going to do whatever we need to do to make it work. So there you go. I've just got at least 400 words, close to it. And I'm going to save that. I'm just going to say File, Save As, and I want to put this in my working folder that I'd already created. So you see my desktop over here. Forgive me if you're on a Windows machine and it's a bit different. Pause, slow down, do whatever you need to do, but this is common stuff. I'm going to go to my folder that I created called, now where is it? Yeah, there it is, Jerry Johnson's site, okay? In my working files, the reason being is this document that I'm creating in Word, I'm not going to put this Word file on the web. You know, it's just got the content for me. So I'm going to put that file there, and I'm going to call it, it says get involved in ballooning. I'm just going to call it ballooning underscore text. So it's very good in web design to name your files very practically. Call it what they are. Don't say text number 1, text number 2, picture number 1. Don't do that. Alright, so I've got my text. Fine. I'm going to close that out. I'm going to make sure my folder is there still, and let's see if it's in there. Working files. Yes, my ballooning text is there. Now images, let me go back and I'm going to get my images. Let me go surf the web again. I've already kind of bookmarked it, but I found a site here. It's just a search engine, not Google, but using Bing. And I'm going to come out here and get a couple of images. Actually, I'm going to get 3 images. I want 1 large image and I want 2 smaller, medium to small images. And you can tell whether an image is large or not by mousing over that image. There's the very first ones are usually large and then they get increasingly smaller. But this very first ones, look at this, it's 600 by 536, that's the size. Now don't forget, I'm asking that you get one image to be at least 500 pixels wide. So find one that you like. If it's bigger, that's quite alright. So I want to find one that's got kind of a nice picturesque view. And I tell you what, I think this one's kind of fun. And look how big it is, 1282 pixels by 962. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to actually right click on this image as it's in a large view. And notice how it says Save Image As. I'm clicking on it, saving the image, and I'm going to go put it back in that folder. Remember, it was on the desktop, Jerry Johnson's site. I'm going to go ahead and put it in my working files for time being, okay? Look how it's named, by the way. It's already been named for the web because I got it from the web. It says hot space, hyphen, error. You can use hyphens or underscore. I'm going to keep mine real consistent, so I'm just going to say hot air. I'm just going to say hot air big. Okay, this is my big image. And I'm going to save it in my working files for now. Alright, and I'm going to glance over here and say save. Now let me go get a couple of, I'm going to zoom out so I don't make you seasick here, but I'm going to go get a couple of smaller images that I can use out. I don't want to use the same thing, just balloons in the air. Let me see if I've got one. Here's one with people riding. It's bigger than I need, but let's do this. I hate to use people's faces, but I'll tell you what, I'm certainly not taking anything away from them. So I'm going to click on that, get that image to load, if it does. I'll tell you what, it's pixelated. I don't like that. So I'm going to go back, and I don't want you to find a picture that's pixelated. I want you to find something that's that looks nice. Doesn't have to be huge because we can scale it down. Boy, that's a pretty image. Let me grab this one. That'll be where I kind of get that. That's good. It doesn't have to be huge. These are the medium to small ones. I've already got my big one. So I want to say image as, and I'm going to call it hot air medium. Okay, so it's my medium size. In fact, I'm abbreviating that. So I save that in my folder. Let's go back and let's get one more image. Okay, I know you guys know how to do this. We get images off the web all the time. Let's find something that's a little bit different if I can, and it can be a small image. Got me shopping around here. Well, how cute is that? Tell you what, I say using children pictures. So let me just get, here's a nice image. Got a bunch of people in it, and it's small. Perfect, just what I want. Okay, I'm going to say save image as. It's very important you save it as. And I'm going to call this hot air small. Okay. So I've got 3 images, a hot air small, hot air medium or big, and hot air, well, I guess I got 4 images going. Anyway, maybe more than we need, but that's fine. You can get as many as you want if you can't decide. And I've got those saved. And this is pretty much where we need to be. So you should have a folder at this point that says Jerry Johnson site, but your name, obviously it's not my name. And inside there, you've got an image folder. No images in it yet, okay? We did put images in working files, but when we crop our images and make them fit the size we want, we may put them in the images folder. And then we've got my text in the working files and hot air big balloon. Don't forget on your text, you paste it in there as unformatted, as bland as it can be, okay? Because I don't want any boldness, no fancy colors, nothing that would be residual that would affect your design. Now, you will want to read your assignment and continue on to phase 2. But you've got your preliminary content to help us build these pages. All right? Talk to you soon.